For my project, I decided to crawl through boggleheads.org, which is a forum dedicated to personal finance and investment advice. I decided to scrape the threads on the front page for links. So the problem statement was that there are a ton of threads like these where people have recommended products, and I wanted to collect all the links and compile them. The libraries I used include Scrapy, which is an alternative to Beautiful Soup but has more crawling capabilities. I also use URL-lib for extracting domain names from URLs, scicopg2 for reading and writing to a database, config parser for extracting database credentials from a config file, and matplotlib for visualizing results. Some of the things I learned from this project were the power of crawling and scraping is amazing. Once a scraping engine has been built, unless the website goes through a large redesign, you can just keep running the same engine against the website and collecting data over time. I also learned a lot about working with databases and collecting data from there, manipulating it using SQL, etc. Some of the limitations I had were I didn't have access to an Amazon API, and so I wish I could show more product data instead of just Amazon URLs. And if I had this backend hooked up to a front end website, I could actually show trends over time, like month or week, or add search and filter capabilities. There were two important Python files in my project, Bogglehead's Spider, which is actually the crawler for Scrapy. Here I am pointing it to boggleheads.org, and this method collects all the threads on the front page. This method is just a helper function that extracts the IDs for each thread. Then I collect all the posts in a thread. I also have some logic to make sure I'm not rereading a page that I've already stored in the database. This is just another method that collects posts from a page. More helper functions that collect page number and number of posts from a page. I have this segregated database file that actually does the writes and inserts to the database, and here you can see the data in the database. This is my threads table. You can see we have 331,000 threads stored in here, and individual links we have 23,780. Here is the Python program actually running. I use a shell script to call the Python program so that I can hook it up to the cron job on my computer, so the program actually runs every 5 minutes. You can see that it first collects the number of threads on the front page, and now it's going through every new thread that is posted since the last time I scanned. And you can see all these different domain names. Links are being collected for those domain names. Looks like we finished at about 24,000 links, and we processed 646 new ones. I decided to present my findings in the form of a Jupyter notebook, and I exported that notebook as HTML because it's just easier to display. In the first cell here, I'm just connecting to the database, and over here you can see that I analyzed 24,271 links. The first graph here just shows just the various domains that the links were collected across. These are just the top 15, and so since it's an investing forum, you can obviously assume that some of these are going to be finance related, like portfolio visualizer or CNBC, but there are some other interesting ones, like YouTube being the second to highest one, and then there's other YouTube one as well, and then Amazon's up there, so plenty of consumer stuff. Here I collected the top threads with the most Amazon links. So of course, what book are you reading currently is the highest one by far, and so Amazon, I guess, is still being used as a bookstore, followed by PC build thread guide, so lots of links to PC components on there, another book thread, so people are still buying books on Amazon. Next here, I've actually compiled the top links of products, and so like this book over here has 8 references to this specific link, and so that's just a book on investing. I actually figured out that if you use the Amazon URL in a certain way, you could get the image for the Amazon product, so that's what I did here. And so you can see the Count of Monte Cristo is the #2 recommendation. Don Quixote, asset allocation, so just books on finance and popular books overall I mentioned here. Microsoft Office link, and then a TV link, just interesting products here. I also compiled a list of the top YouTube links in the forum, and they're pretty random. There's one to a financial podcast here, but then this one's for a coronavirus news article, a few movie or TV show trailers here, and then more finance stuff, music, Tom Petty, just random stuff. So I hope to learn more about this data over time and maybe garner some more insights. Thank you for watching my video.